Okay. I like your clock on your door back there.
Oh, I was hanging it up to dry.
Oh, that too. So what's been going on since I last saw you? I know you had your trip to Tennessee. How yeah.
No, nothing really. New Year's Eve was kind of quiet. Everybody went out to a party, and I went back to the Airbnb and stayed in there by myself, which was good. I wanted to.
Yeah. How was that
Because
experience being by yourself?
it was nice. It was actually really good. Like I that need to be around other people, or
Yeah.
it was different for sure. That's the one I ain't never did that. Like I ain't even never felt like I wanted to.
But this year was different. You enjoyed
Yeah.
being by yourself with yourself while everybody was out partying. You're like, I like this.
Oh, I was loving it.
So what
Yeah,
I
I left
you
the
love
crowd
what?
behind. I was like, oh, I'm taking the Uber back to the Airbnb. It
I
was
want to
nice.
I want to acknowledge you advocating for what you needed and not just going with the crowd and everybody else's energy and
Hmm.
really truly practicing what we've been doing, like
Yeah.
deeply honoring yourself.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you
Yes, I
showed
did.
your family the way, regardless of if they saw it or not.
Yeah, no, they probably didn't. It was too intoxicated.
Yep. What do you feel like that created by deeply honoring yourself and like loving your time alone?
Just more trust in myself. Like
Hmm.
I need to like continuously trust in myself, like deeply,
Yeah.
because that's really has been going, that's really, like the way. I didn't feel bad neither, but they knew I didn't want to go out with them.
Yeah.
But I did go out, and I walked up and down the strip of
Mhm.
Broadway. Have you ever been to Nashville?
I have.
It's buck wild out there.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm gonna stay out here for a few. And and I'm like, they knew I didn't want to go out. They didn't want me to stay in the whole night though. So I went out with them. But like
Yep.
as it was getting closer to 10, I'm like, yeah, it's time for me to go.
And that's
Mhm.
good.
And on top of that, my brother was drunk. And
Oh,
he was like, I don't know why you looking at me like that. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm looking at you because
yeah.
I didn't drink nothing. I wasn't intoxicated off nothing. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm looking at you. He was like, girl, you can go your ass home. I was like, you know what? You right. Call me an Uber.
Yep. Oh, I bet he's saying you're looking at him through sober eyes and he didn't understand that because he was
Oh,
drunk.
he didn't even remember saying that to me.
Of course not. Of course not.
I was like, you
What?
know what? You right. Deuces.
Let's go. Call me an Uber. Let me get out.
Hmm. Hmm. So I went back and I'm like, I was chilling. It was really good.
Oh,
It was
that's beautiful.
different, but it was good. But other than that, I don't know. Just being calm on the trip the whole time.
Yeah. But
Hmm.
different is good. Even though everybody else and the crowd went and stayed out and got drunk, you did it. You found your way that was
Hmm.
supportive for you that you loved. And
I did.
what I heard in you is that you set the intention and tone for 2025 of deeply honoring, deep trusting yourself, even if that means being alone. That you're like, I like being by myself, and I love it.
It was great. It was great.
So more of that, please.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. For
Huh.
sure.
Oh,
Yep. For sure. It was
that's
different, but it
amazing.
was good. Hmm.
Yeah. But see how it can be different, but it can still be good. Like even if it's
Hmm.
not what you might have done in the past, it's good for you now, where you are now. Because Lucretia, I think part of you knew that this year you're going to be doing some stuff to get you
I
out of
do.
where you are. So you needed time and space to just be by yourself to harness some of that energy of stillness to move you.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, to like almost like be ready. I mean,
Yeah.
never ready, but like.
Well, it's a preparation.
Hmm.
It's
You can
you're
say that.
preparing because it's like you know that you're going to need to do stuff, so you may not have as much of that stillness that you really do enjoy.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
it's also
Right.
what I I'm very intentional, and when I hear others that are maybe not consciously choosing it, but you chose to go be by yourself, be different, and enjoy your own company
Mhm. Mhm.
on New Year's rather than going with the crowd.
Yeah.
Speaks
I don't even
volume.
understand it. What was the
Yeah,
hype? There was too many people out there.
yeah, but you're also very sensitive.
Oh, yeah. That's one thing I really did learn about myself in 2024. Like, I am really sensitive to energy. Like, it's too
Yeah,
much. It's really too much.
you honored that
Mhm.
rather than just staying with the crowd because they wanted you to,
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
and you didn't. Like,
Yeah. I
and
wasn't
what if,
thinking about them.
yeah, good. It's beautiful, Lucretia, and it's different than what you've known. So the fact that you chose this on New Year's speaks so loudly. I'm like, "Oh my God, you're doing it. Yes, you're doing it."
I am. I feel it though. Like, I feel different and everything.
Yeah.
Just exhausted, but
Mm,
like different, something different. And they I don't know if they noticed it or not, but they did see,
yeah,
like, when it came in the house, the TV wasn't on, wasn't nothing on, because I was just sitting there journaling, kind of like reflecting 2024, and
yeah,
then just like asking for the things that I need in 2025, writing it down, trying to be
yeah.
intentional. I didn't go as deep as I would like because I want to start a new journal, but I made a list today. I was working and I'm like, I just made a list of I like more of, I don't less of. So I got a list going right here. So I'm gonna try to be like
Oh,
more intentional with the calendar and you know what I mean, and
yeah,
stuff like that. Because I'm gonna have to file this divorce like this year.
yeah.
I know I
So
am.
you've already been prepared, being prepared for that.
Yeah, right.
Now it's taking the inspired action,
Hmm.
getting the support in place to take the inspired action to move you.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I love the fact that you were like reflecting on what do I want to call in more of? What do I want
Hmm.
less of? So that you can
Hmm.
amplify what you want more of, which you were already practicing on New Year's of
Hmm.
stillness and having your own space.
Yeah. Mhm. Mhm.
And whether or not your family saw it, like they came home and they're probably like, what the fuck? Like there's no
Mhm.
TV on. She's sitting with a journal. What is going on?
Mhm. Yeah, they probably think I'm nuts. I don't give a shit.
Let them. Let them. Well, and I might, are you open to like an invitation for something you could do to continue to integrate what you journaled through?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so you get to choose where you go for this. So,
Mhm.
like, my labyrinth has a threshold, right? It has that arbor that you walk under.
Mhm.
So, New Year's, what I did, I'll share. I was on retreat with other women, but it was a beautiful, like on sacred lands. There was a threshold there. Of course, there was outside because they do weddings there. So I invited other women to join me. They all did. But what are you leaving behind in 2024? And you could talk through like and name it some of those things that you listed of what you want, don't want, and that you're letting go of from 2024 of like having to have it all figured out and all the things, you
Mhm.
know, and then
Mhm.
walk through a threshold. So that can be a doorway, it could be two trees, it could be two plants, it could be whatever
Okay.
kind of threshold you want to walk through. And then
Mhm.
it's a symbolic act to let your body, your spirit know that I am moving towards this new thing. And then
Okay.
what are you walking towards this year in 2025? Like what are all those things on that other side of that list? Like
Mhm.
name some of those things out to give it voice to like so your body can feel, oh, this is what she's proclaiming. I'm going
Mhm.
to amplify that. And maybe on the other side of when you're walking into 2025, do the muse method real quick as you're calling in all that stuff to amplify that energy of I'm calling in more of this.
Okay. Mhm.
How does that resonate?
Yeah, I actually got up when the clock struck 12, I got up and was like moving around, dancing and saying intentions out loud because I was in the house by myself. And the fireworks behind me was going off. It was weird because we could see the whole city from the Airbnb we was in. So the fireworks was like, it was like already celebrating. It was like
Yeah.
I was already celebrating. But then like I knew I wanted to get more intentional with the
Yeah.
journaling. So I was like, last night I was like, it came. I'm like, I need to make a list of more of, less than. And then like
Yes.
put some dates on the calendar of when I'm gonna actually start the conversation up and stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
I need to like be more intentional.
Mm. Are you willing to also check in with your muse every day and ask her, what inspired action are you calling me to take today to move towards the farmette, to move towards being single, to move towards what inspired action are you being called? What am I being called to today? And see
Hmm.
what comes up through you, or what like outside things catch your attention. And you're like,
Okay.
oh, I'm gonna go call that attorney today, or whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Right.
And
Hmm.
that way you can be present with whatever's here for you to move you. How
Hmm.
does that sound?
Yeah, well, I kind of do that like in the mirror because I'll be like angels and spirit guides, like show
Yeah.
me the way, or because I try to like do it in the mirror. I haven't needed it because I've been so exhausted. But like
Yeah.
I try to do that and just to see. Since I've been doing it, stuff been coming up. You and all other stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It wouldn't probably even come that day, but like you it'll come and then I'm like, oh shit, I said this out loud. Like I said it out loud.
Right.
So it do come. I am learning that those words is powerful. And when you set that energy in motion, it really is energy in motion. It goes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's amazing. Is
Mhm.
there anything that spoke to you in your reflection when you're like, I want more of this and less of this? Was there anything that like really caught your attention?
Like I feel like I need to, like I said, be more intentional. That
Mm.
will inspire me to move, like to put the
Mhm.
overthinking down, or just more intentional, like, and then do more retreats because I think like I'm growing into more of a retreat, like,
Yeah.
go somewhere and be different, like go outside the environment. Because this
Yeah.
environment is affecting me, and I can tell that today. Like it's a,
Wow.
it's affecting me.
Yeah.
It is.
So what I hear you saying is you were in the van when you were in Tennessee in this spacious place without your ex there, and then you came back to the fish tank of your current life. And you're like, oh shoot, I'm running into all the walls now because it's not big enough, it's not deep enough. There aren't people like me here.
Hmm.
I need other
Hmm.
fish like me that are going deep and know that.
Hmm.
And for this year, would you be also open to, like you said, do more retreats? I'm planning some right now because I get the sense that most of us need that. Um, but also taking inspired action of taking daily retreats out into nature, or daily retreats out to your plant up to your plants, or like allowing that to be a retreat too,
Yeah. Hmm.
whatever that, or your sound bath healing, or you know what I
Right.
mean. And like
Hmm.
allow, just because what you're doing is you're acknowledging what you're calling in, and you're saying more of this. Like, I want to acknowledge I'm taking a retreat, I'm getting out to wild nature, I'm getting up to my
Right.
plant. That is my
Hmm.
retreat right now.
Hmm.
And then also plan retreats if you want that too.
Right. Right.
Full.
Yeah.
Mm,
Finding the joy in the small stuff. Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
And the fact that you're already asking your spirit guides, and then maybe it's just adding that extra wording of like, what inspired action are you calling for me to take today to move me towards this?
Right.
So that
Hmm.
they truly guide you.
Stuff comes up.
Always. You know that.
Hmm.
You've
Yeah.
had lots of evidence now over the last few months. You're like, well, my mind keeps being blown. I want more. Give me more of my blowing things. I hope that's on your more of list. Mind blowing. More mind blowing.
But it's been blowing me away.
Ooh.
Hmm.
So, was there something specific you wanted to work on together today?
No, not really. I did want to mention that maybe we should. I think I'm at the point where I can drop down to. Do you do like 3 times a month, or how does
Yeah,
that
we
work?
can. Yeah, so we can absolutely experiment with it. So what I'd like to do with my clients is if they're like, okay, I feel like maybe every week I might need a little bit more space. Awesome.
Right.
Let's
Mhm.
experiment and do this week and then take next week off. And what I
Okay.
would do is I'd put Lucretia honoring time at our normal regular schedule time, which was Wednesday at 4.
Mhm.
And then you still take that hour to honor you, to do the work, whatever that is that you're doing, journal,
Mhm.
reflect. And then the following week we'd meet again. And then
Oh,
we can see if it's, you're like, oh, wait, actually, I need more support. Every week is beneficial, but, and we just need to experiment and we do it
okay.
2 times for you to see if that's beneficial for you.
Okay. That works. Because what I'm noticing that like I really need to stay in practice. Like whatever I'm doing is working. I am supported.
Yeah.
I am supported. I do know, like, I know that, like, and then I need to stay in practice. I need to
Okay.
stay in circle. I need to stay with my sound baths. But at least I got something that I'm working with and it's actually showing and reflecting.
Yeah.
And I know it's gonna get harder with like it's not gonna it's gonna get more harder with me filing and everything, but still, I still think like I need to put more trust in myself, even though I
Mm,
know I am supported. You get what I'm saying? Like, because now I
yeah.
know I'm supported.
Right.
It's not like a never ending thing or what am I going to do? The overthinking is gone. The,
Mm,
fear is still there. It always is. But like,
yes.
long as I stay in practice and know what I've been doing has been working really well, I think I can do this. Like, and on
Yeah.
top of that, I won't be it's not like, "Oh, I need it, I need it." It's like, trust yourself and just know that you're
Right.
supported. You
Yes.
so, I think that's where I'm
Absolutely.
at.
I love it. Let's
Mhm.
celebrate. I want celebrating that and let's experiment and see.
Okay.
Because right now, and that's why we're experimenting, because that's what we're inviting into your life is a life of experimenting to find what works for you. Because in certain
Mhm.
seasons, like I need a little more space because I need to put in the practice of trusting myself more in off weeks to keep
Mhm.
building up the um that power in me of really having my own, and then I'll have more to explore in our time together. Awesome. And
Okay.
then you might be going through the navigating divorce stuff, and I'll share from my personal experience. When I was navigating the divorce stuff, I needed more support because
Mhm.
there was a lot more things activating me and a lot more layers of things being released that I just needed support because I was in the darkness, I was in the mud, and I could
Mhm.
not clearly, like I'm in
Okay.
it and somebody outside of me to help me to see because I can't see outside of the mud. I can't see the horizon of where I'm going anymore. And I need somebody.
Mhm. Mhm.
So just know that whatever that support looks like, we're going to modify it for you so that
Okay.
you have what you need. Because
Mhm.
yes, you know you're supported, but sometimes when you're in the mud, it's hard to remember because you're just in it, and it is not wrong because that's part of you, like that's part of you blossoming. Like you have to, the lotus flower has to go through the muck to blossom, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And right now you're riding the wave of, okay, I've been really doing really well with practicing building the trust, honoring myself, and I'm doing it. And now I want to experiment and see how it's doing when I have no training wheels, when I'm doing
Mhm.
it all by myself.
Right. Uh-huh. Right. Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
let's that's thing because you're advocating for what you need, and I'm going to
Mhm.
support whatever that looks like for you, Lucretia.
Okay. I appreciate that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's how to me that's how support truly works. Is it's deeply honoring of what is true for you. Because I'm not
Mhm.
here to keep you on my roster to be working with you every week. I'm here to empower you so that you can be deeply centered in self to be able to choose and be empowered to keep taking that power from the past that you lost, that you gave away, and
Mhm.
use that for momentum to move you now rather than letting
Mhm.
it burying you. You're like, I ain't
Right.
letting that shit carry me no more. It is fucking
Uh-uh.
doing me.
Mhm, and that ain't even that haven't even been coming up. That was the other thing, like, if I get intentional and keep focused on what it is that I do want, my
Mm,
more of list versus the less of what I don't want, those are
right.
like, like when it comes like, "Oh, you said you didn't want this," so, like, step back into yourself. That's what that
Yeah.
is. That's why I wrote it down. So like that ain't even come up like
Mm,
okay, so I came home and I
yeah.
had stuff all over the garage because
Yep.
I was packing up Christmas. I was packing and it was like I do that because in my mind I know what everything is. So when I
Right.
came home, he he got OCD. He just packed
Mm.
all my shit in the corner again. And I'm like, the next time this is being moved, it's being moved out. I'm done. Like it didn't even come up as what it usually would have came up as. Like you sorry, I'm just like whatever, whatever, because I'm done. Because I'm done. And I know I'm done.
Let's take
Mhm.
a moment to do the Muse method and that amplify more of that energy. I don't got to do anything. Let's amplify that. So let's close our eyes. Let's plug our hands in, connect with that deepest part of self, that power that you're calling in right now, that you have just named, that you are done, that you are choosing yourself and what is true for you now. And now breathe life into all parts of you, Lucretia, into every single cell of your being, as if every breath you're taking is just expanding each cell so that you're taking up more space, more of Lucretia, more of what you are calling in for this future. And now let's hold that intention of connecting and expanding as far as feels safe. And I'll walk you back in a minute. And just take two more breaths here, just acknowledging that expansion. And just notice if anything's bubbled up from your body through emotions, sensations, visualizations, intuitions, and just this minute of connecting and amplifying that.
What came up was when I was on vacation, I cooked
Yeah,
breakfast
yeah.
and everybody around me was like super happy. And I don't know why that vision came up in my head.
Ooh. So what I heard you say is serving others
Hmm.
because of you only because of you deeply honoring yourself and choosing you gave you more capacity to serve and give from your overflow rather than from depletion like you have in the past. Is that
Right.
true?
Hmm.
Wow.
I did tell him, I said, I ain't cooking no more shit though, don't ask.
And you set your honoring boundary of, hey, and that's it. This is how what honors me. I'm done.
And I didn't either.
Good job. I love that. So, but rather than like, you don't have to question it. It's just what comes up. Be like, oh, that's interesting. And like maybe take note of it and see if
Hmm.
anything comes through later. Because that's here
Right.
for you because your muse is like, I want you to serve more. Like I like it's I've heard you say about cooking food as part of maybe it's like a love language of yours. I don't know if that's true.
When I'm in a mood, when I'm in a
Right.
mood.
When you're in the mood,
Yeah. Hmm.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
nurturing, loving others. Like because I
Hmm.
hear gardening of like all the things. Like it's a way of nurturing when it's supportive for you.
Yeah, that's correct.
So knowing.
That is correct.
So as you're experimenting this next week, I wonder if it would be supportive because you've got your more of list and you've got your
Hmm.
less list. So
Hmm.
you already were doing this. I'm just going to amplify what you already said. So
Okay.
when the list of things comes up,
When the what?
when the things that you want less of come up and you
Okay.
know that they're in your life,
Mm-hmm.
the invitation is to do the muse method there.
Okay.
So why I'm inviting you to do it then is because you're going to be with what you don't want. You're not going to make that wrong and try to fix that you don't want this anymore, that you want to get rid of this. You're going to be with it to expand and take up more space of what you want more of.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
So it's allowing you to honor some of the harder things that is here to also move you.
Mm-hmm.
So you
Okay.
can ask after like the less of things come show up, whatever that might
Mm-hmm.
be. You do the muse
Mm-hmm.
method. What are you inviting me to choose? Because
Okay.
maybe that thing that you want less of is coming up because it's here to show you I want more. I want
Okay.
more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What can I do what action can I take to support that right now?
Okay.
And
I
ask
got you.
those questions out loud so that when you're asking your muse and you're like being with all the things, even the harder parts,
Mm-hmm.
she's guiding you to what she wants you to do more of, what action to support what you're moving towards.
Okay. Okay.
And that way you're still taking, because doing the muse method is the foundation, but then we've got to take the action. It's like a computer, it's plugged in and it's powered up, but if you ain't going to the programs, that computer's useless.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay.
The action is the piece that's moving you to do what you want to do.
Okay. So right, that's like when I seen that he moved all my stuff, I was like, yeah, no, not going there. So I didn't make it wrong. I didn't say nothing, but I was just like, I could write. I see it's the connection. I see, like, I could have did the muse, and I could have been
Yeah,
like, he didn't irritate. Like, it wasn't even irritating. It was just like, he did this, but like now you want to move it out of his way. So okay, I got it. Like, I got it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But it
I
you
need to say
I
it
want
out loud though.
yeah, but I want to acknowledge Lucretia, you did in a sense do that. That's exactly what you did, even if you may
Mm-hmm.
not, because you're like, I'm done. This is the last time.
Mm-hmm. And he want me to
Um,
say something. You could tell he want me to say something so bad.
yeah, and you didn't. You kept your
No,
power.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what I'm inviting is to now amplify your power,
Right. Mm-hmm.
even
Thank
in
you.
that place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because that's
Right. And
really
speaking it
not
out
gonna,
loud. I need to speak it out loud. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Okay.
because he's really not gonna know what to do with you. And he already doesn't. But the more you take up more space, he'll feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And by you continuing to do like the partner muse method, if you're uncomfortable with it, with him getting on the same side and asking for it to be more easy, like this transition, this disentanglement, for that to have ease with it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And just watch, start to look for where there's ease already being created,
Okay. I'm
even
gonna
if
write
it's
that.
just
I'm gonna
a
journal
little bit.
that.
Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
start to look for where it's already showing up, even if it's at work or with your daughter, anywhere it's showing up, just look for where it's already happening,
Okay.
because that way you're, once again, you're amplifying what you're calling in, what you want more of.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. How
That
does
makes sense.
does that resonate?
Yes, it actually does. Uh-huh.
Okay.
Because it's like
Okay.
you said, I did part of it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and the irritation one that like it just wasn't there. I don't know. It just wasn't there. But
What if you've already moved, like you've already expanded beyond that? Because the irritation in the past, what I've heard you say is when you got irritated and you put that out on him, it took all of your energy.
mm-hmm,
So it was
hmm
actually disempowering for you.
right, right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, yeah, that's correct. Because if I would have started screaming, I would have just went backwards. But I didn't even feel the need to scream.
Holy crap.
Didn't feel the need. I'm like, why you do this? I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, you already named it. He's OCD and he wants to control it. And because I'm similar to you, it's like organizing. Before you organize the system, you got to make it look like a cluttered mess because you got to see what you're working with so you can put it back away in an efficient way.
Right. That's
It
all I
makes
wanted to do.
right. But that's not how he works. He's OCD and it's got to be all neat and tidy and it's got to be put away in the corner. But
Yeah.
it's like,
Mm-hmm.
how often has he done that with you?
Oh, he do that all the time.
Right. Where
He
he's
do
got
it
to
all
put,
the time.
right.
And now I asked him more than probably over 100 times, can you please not touch this? He don't give a
Mm,
shit. He'll go right behind me, wait till I leave out, and go do whatever he wants to. He have
mm.
no F's to give, none.
Well, hey, let's acknowledge this, Lucretia. He's honoring what is true for him.
Yep, yep.
He's showing me the way. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm not agreeing with it. I'm
No,
saying
no,
he.
no. I get what you're saying, though. I get what you're saying. Right. Now, if I took that as a lesson, I could have been gone and been moved on and stopped trying. That's the real red flag.
But now you're receiving, I like to shift it from lesson to invitation. You're being receiving the invitation and you're not giving away your power. You're keeping the power and you're like, oh, what are you? You're telling me it's time to go. This ain't
Mm-hmm.
ever happening again.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Yeah.
Thank you. So
Mm-hmm.
when he does that and he's honoring of himself, you can do the muse method. When he puts away your stuff, you're already doing it. We're just
Mm-hmm.
amplifying. Acknowledge it. You can sit alongside of him because he's honoring himself. Oh, he's showing me the way that I don't want to be with. And I'm going to amplify that energy of us being alongside each other to have ease in this transition.
Mm-hmm. 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 I have been calling for ease. I'm like, this is gonna be easy. You have nothing to worry about. It's new, it's unknown, but it's gonna be easy. This is gonna be
Yeah.
easy. I said
Yeah.
that yesterday coming back through the airport. I told my sister, she was like, you think he gonna try to give you a fight? I was like, yeah, he will. But I was like, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work. Because she was
Yeah.
like, what do you want for your birthday? I'm like, it would be good if I was partying in my own house.
Yeah.
Like that would be the real gift.
When's your birthday? I got to write that down
In
anyway.
April. April is 27th, 4/27.
Okay. Hmm. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You never know, Lucretia. That could be something that could happen by April. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying you're
Yeah.
maybe, even if you're not divorced at that point, you could already be in your own place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a
Mm-hmm.
possibility.
Yeah.
So we can
A
still
real
hold
good
that
possibility. Huh?
right. I said you can still hold that possibility and just keep open hands of like, it's got to be this way. Nope. This
Mm-mm.
is what I would like, and I'm going to stay open to whatever's for the highest good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. I trust it. I trust. Even if it's behind a dirty, dusty door, like you said, covered in cobwebs. I know how to clean when I get the energy.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at what
Uh-huh.
you're doing now, Lucretia.
Mm-hmm.
You just said it. You know how to clean when you get the energy. You're not giving away your energy anymore. You're using it to keep your house clean, your house clean.
Yeah.
Everything
Mm-hmm.
inside of you, outside of you. You're doing
Mm-hmm.
it.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying. I am.
You
Mm-hmm.
are.
Yeah.
So I
Mm-hmm.
like to say, and if this doesn't resonate, don't use it. Throw it away. When we're trying, we're not being. So just allow it to flow through you.
Okay. Okay. I
Because
am. Well, I
you're
am
not
doing it.
you are. That's why I
Mm-hmm.
wanted to acknowledge is Lucretia, you're already doing it. So you don't
I
need to
am.
try. It's just a matter of, it's already happening.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I want it to go faster, but can I allow it to happen in the timing that is best for me? Because it's actually here to support me so that I have ease in this
Mm-hmm.
transition.
Yep. Trust and divine timing. Uh-huh.
Yeah. Because
Yeah,
if
and
you,
I'm not as wound up as I was when I met you on the trail about moving. And
yeah,
some part of that like comforts me because I was just really wound up about moving, like
yeah,
really wound up about moving. And not saying that I don't, that's still a goal of mine, but I was like, like wound up with timing. And some part of me feel comfortable, like maybe it didn't happen when I wanted to, because I need to build up this trust. I really need to build like, and that comforted me. Like I'm like, all righty, we're
mm,
gonna roll with this then. We're gonna keep the wheels rolling.
right. But
Hmm.
okay, I want to bring it in because I'm aware of I was with you on that walk and I felt that you were wound up in it. And what I want to say is what I witnessed in you is your body was in a lot of pain. We had to stop multiple times because there was a forcing energy as
That's
opposed to
right.
following the flow and
Hmm.
riding the river of life. Like
Hmm.
you feel the difference now. Your
Yes,
body
I
is in
do.
ease. Your body isn't in as much pain because you're just following. You're not forcing it. You're like, it's got to happen now. It's got blah, 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 all the stories.
Right. Mm-hmm. Right.
And you're not
The
wound up.
desperate, that energy of like,
Ah,
yeah, yeah.
desperation. I heard that. I heard that.
Desperation, energy, yeah. It was desperation. It was because you want out, like, and you know, like once you get out, you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Once you ain't got to see this no more, you'll be fine. But like,
Right.
I wasn't looking at the other side. Like, I
Yeah.
wasn't looking at the other side of it. Like,
So
it's
what
gonna
is,
happen.
yeah. So it's going to happen. So what do you, what do you see happening for you? What are you creating by not being as wound up and forceful?
Ease, more ease, flow. Like I'm allowing things to come to me versus me trying to force it.
Ah, you
But
just named
that's
it.
something Bob Proctor talked about in the program. You know, you say don't force it.
But you said it. You're like ease, flow, allowing versus before where you were all wound up from desperation. You were trying and
Mm-hmm.
forcing,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and now you're allowing.
I
And you feel
am.
the difference. You feel
Oh,
the
I
difference.
can. Oh, yes, 100%, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm listening to a book by Prentice Hemphill. It's called What It Takes to Heal. She's a social liberation, just like liberation, justice, social justice, beautiful psychologist. But what
Okay.
she talks about is we cannot heal ourselves from our thinking mind or just from our thinking mind. We have to heal ourselves from the soils of our body.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you relate to that with your plants and the green thumb you have is like you are from our time together and you were doing this before, so you were already doing it. You
Mm-hmm.
are trusting the wisdom of your body. You're trusting the soils that are deep inside of you that you can only tend to. And
Mm-hmm.
you're
Mm-hmm.
nurturing them through not like sending out the irritation and the anger and the frustration. You're using it, if it shows up, the anger, the frustration, anger, irritation, to move you. Like move
Mm-hmm.
it to the body, and then what are you inviting me to choose? Go do it.
Mm-hmm. Right. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Even when I said earlier, I was like, this environment is affecting me. The thought I had in my head was like, it's like a plant being in the wrong spot because
Yeah,
my life is all about plants.
it
It's
is.
like, but
So
if
what,
you take that plant and move it to the right spot, it'll flourish.
yeah.
You don't move the spot, you move the plant. Mm-hmm.
So what does that mean for you?
Like taking, like I said, being more intentional, taking,
Yeah.
like I'm finding once I write something down, even if it's because I usually try to like be really detailed about. So tonight when I journal, I'll be detailed about what I'm gonna do tomorrow. So if that's
Hmm.
couponing in Dollar General, like I try to be that detailed because I'm
Yeah.
finding like when I write it down, I actually like I don't if I follow it. Sometimes I don't. Some things on the list don't.
Yeah.
And I'm not beating myself up over that. But
Yeah.
like that's what I mean. Like when I say being more intentional, like if I can journal more and read it out loud and keep doing my mirror work, the muse method, like
Yeah.
I can just feel I can just feel the newness. Like last Saturday when I walked out of Dollar General, I was couponing.
Yeah.
It almost felt like I was at another Dollar General somewhere. Like, oh God, like this, it just like the wind blew and just like newness. Like it's the same Dollar General I've been going to. But
But
like I
it,
had the bags in my hand and I'm like, oh, this feels great. Like it just was like
yeah.
a wind of newness that flew over me. I'm like, I get it. I know. I know. I was present. I was walking to the car. I was present. And I'm like, oh, this is new. Like I can feel it.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
can feel it. Mm-hmm.
I love that you acknowledged that in it was the same place, but yet you were different and it felt like a new place.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You would have, I mean, like, right, you would have think like, oh, you had a new Dollar General, a new neighborhood. But no, I was at the same Dollar General. No, like,
Yeah. But so how can you create because you said the environment is affecting you, which I can't change that in this moment. You can't change that. You're still
right, no,
here.
right. Mm-hmm.
So how can you create, even if it's for pockets of time, an environment that is going to keep moving you?
I can, like you said, a small retreat, go and do my plants, and just in my mind, be in my own space, just in my mind, like in that moment, in that time that I'm up there watering the plants.
Yeah,
Usually I'll get caught up in he moved my shit, da 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 da. Instead of that, finding joy in the fact that I'm just gonna move it back. I can't help that it irritate him. I really honestly can't. I've just
right.
gotta keep moving keep moving it back or whatever. So just finding those little small pockets of
Yeah,
doing things like that, like making my bed up. I love making my bed up. Something like, oh, I love my bed. It's all mine.
yeah. And you're calling in that new bed. Okay, so what are
hmm
some other things that's going to create an external environment that will nurture your inner environment? So watering your plants or being with your plants, making your bed.
hmm Um, just being present, like being and keep calling in the newness, like keep knowing that the newness is coming.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm quite sure more answers gonna come up to that question like you did the last time. Because you was
Yeah.
like, what is some of the new stuff you're looking for to New Year? Like 2 days later. I'm like, oh shit, I got a list for her now.
Of course you do, because we asked the question.
I'm like, new place, because I see it like new places. I'm like, oh, new smells. I want new new vacations, new retreats. Like I
Yeah.
had a whole list.
Yep. Of course you did. That's what happens when you also ask a question and you stay open to the answer. Because you might not
hmm
fully have it in the moment,
Right.
just staying open to it of like, okay, I know I want this, but I think there's more. I'm going to sit with it.
hmm hmm
So one
Yeah.
of the other things you've said is getting outside in nature. I know it's cold outside, but getting
It's
outside in
freezing.
nature has helped you.
hmm Yeah.
Or getting to like maybe to other friends or even connecting on the phone with brother or other people that are
hmm
helping to create that space for yourself. Those are some
Right.
things you've
Uh-huh.
asked.
Going into different environments too, because like when you away,
Yeah,
like being at the Airbnb, like I just felt like I was just in a different environment. I felt good. Like I just felt really good, even though the place was like gorgeous. Like it was
yeah,
just a really nice, gorgeous, homely Airbnb. So like
right,
even remembering the time that I'm, you know what I mean? The time that I spent in there by myself, I was able to cook for everybody. That's something that I like to do. Everybody was sitting
right.
there happy, chomping down.
Yeah,
hmm
so going back to that in imagination in your mind to recreate that here now,
Yeah, right. Uh-huh.
even
And
when,
knowing that it's possible, and knowing that it's possible too. Like, you know what I mean? Like you can
yeah,
live like that. Like you honestly, because before it would be like I was just so wound up. Like it was a lot. Like because
right,
you don't see no way out.
right.
You
So when
know,
you're all wound up, you don't see a way out.
no. It's like you said, when you're in the mud, you really can't see. You're just like, whoa.
And even when you're in that place and you're around others that are, I'm going to call them in the mud, like they're okay with just living with just
Mhm.
enough and settling, are those the people that are going to help you to see a way out?
Um,
The people that are
yes
stuck
and
in
no.
the mud.
Like some of the
Yeah,
people, yes, but some of them, nah, they ain't thinking like that.
right. And sometimes it can be, Lucretia, it can be like they're a great teacher because they're showing you what you don't want. Awesome.
Yes.
Like your cousin, like you mentioned, the one that wasn't honoring herself and canceled the trip. It was an example of that. You're like, oh, I gotta freaking press in even more. I'm gonna show her honoring myself, and I don't care if she's looking. I gotta do it for me.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Uh-huh.
So it's,
That was a very good example.
yeah,
Because I just know. She didn't tell us, she didn't say nothing. She just silently canceled or whatever. But
yeah,
I know like it wasn't a choosing of herself. Like it wasn't
right,
that she chose
right,
herself.
right.
hmm Right.
So you're,
So
yeah,
a yes and a no. Like, no, those aren't the people. But then yes, because
yeah,
they make you look deeper. Like, whoa, like,
exactly. They invite the more because they're not willing to go after the more.
hmm
And
hmm
like I wanted to just also bring in because you texted me about it, but to hear your voice, like you met up with your friend and you stood in your power, you were authentic, you shared the truth. How was that experience for you?
It was kind of really good because I didn't know. I didn't know if he was gonna be like, oh, you just stopped talking to me. But he
Right.
wasn't. He really
Oh,
wasn't. He wasn't. He was like, I explained to him what I had been going through, and he was like, which I thought was like really good. He was like, for as long as I known you, you always had to choose somebody else. He was like, for as long as I known you, you always had a son. Cause I did. My son is 25 and we've been knowing each other for about 20 something years. He was like,
yeah,
so like that's how he started off. Once I got through talking, that's how he
yeah,
started. He was like, so he didn't make it about himself, and he had went through some deep stuff too. And he got to explain that to me. He ended up having a panic attack last year, and that led him to counseling and got him to open up on a different level that's improving his life for his wife and his son. So we was able to just at that point share each other's story because that's what it was about. But I've been knowing him for so long. If he wasn't in that spot, he would have been like, what the F? You just stopped talking to me, because he loved, like talking to me, and like I was
right,
his friend. He don't have no sisters. So it was
right,
like I'm one of his really good friends, like really good friends that he could tell me anything. When he was finna marry his wife, we stayed on the phone for like 2 hours and stuff
right,
like that. So, and knowing
yeah,
him from back then, like knowing him from over the years, he would have came out the gate. He would have came out the gate like swinging, like you just up and stop talking to me or whatever like that. And he
yeah,
didn't. He was open to me because I was like, I said this because I was like, this was not never about you. It was always about me. And it was the night went fine. We sat there for a couple hours, and yeah, it was. I found out he went through some stuff too, like a panic attack,
right,
led him to
yeah,
counseling, like got him to open his world up.
right,
So yeah, it was good. It was honestly good. It was really like, like a release. Like we good. And
yeah,
at the end, he was like, you're not gonna disappear on me no more. I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna do that because I don't have to. Like I told him, I'm
no,
like, I'm not running from anything. And like I told him, I was just going through it at the time. I really truly was. And he kind of respected that because he said, you
yeah.
always had to choose somebody other than yourself.
So he acknowledged that you honored and chose yourself in that moment. And what I
Hmm.
heard you say is that you opened the door with being really vulnerable and naming your experience. And he automatically put the defenses down that he would
Yep.
have before. And then he was super vulnerable and just leaned fully in
Hmm. Yep. Hmm.
because you were deeply centered in self. Like, I want to just keep acknowledging it because you keep choosing you and you keep like staying connected to yourself, and look at what it's opening up for you in other relationships.
Hmm. Hmm. Yep. That's right.
So,
That's good. That's right.
and I don't know if you necessarily asked this question, but what I heard you in the background asking is like, how do my choices bless everyone involved? Like, you choosing you blessed him because it also made him appreciate the friend that you are. And I love how he was like playful. You ain't gonna disappear at the end of your conversation. You ain't gonna disappear again. Like, he was playful about it as opposed to like trying to take you down.
Hmm. Yeah, that's correct.
Fun.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Hmm.
by you, like, I just want to acknowledge that because maybe you're not consciously always asking that question, but how do your choices bless everyone involved, including you? It blessed you first and foremost because you got clarity and you got the support in place to do the hard thing. And it
Hmm.
blessed him because it allowed him, first of all, to be more vulnerable and open and not be defensive and appreciate your friendship even more.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's powerful, Lucretia.
That is powerful. It was. I felt like it was a good clearing. Like it wasn't no
Mm,
bad vibes or no bad thoughts or anything. Like once we were done talking and eating dinner, I just felt like a good. I drove home and I'm like, it felt good to tell him that. Like, because at the end
yeah,
of the day, I didn't want him to think it was about him anyway. And then he
right.
said, he did mention, he was like, some part of me listening to you felt like you was protecting me from this too. And I'm like, I was.
Mm,
Because I know how he is. Like, I know he would have wanted to try to fix it or save me or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He one of those friends, like, oh, like, because he don't have no sisters, and I'm
Yeah.
like a sister to him.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Holy crap, Lucretia. I had chills when you were saying that because you knew that you had to rescue yourself. If you were to share that with him, he would have tried to rescue you and protect you.
Hmm.
Like I these chills are continuing. I
Hmm.
know like that is so huge that you did that, maybe not consciously at the time, but I just want to acknowledge that you chose so beautifully for yourself so that
Yeah.
you could honor and rescue yourself.
Hmm. I wasn't conscious of that. And when he said that, I was like, I never even looked at it like that, but I probably did
Yeah.
unconsciously, like you just said.
Yeah. But you also shifted a dynamic with a pattern of you always had to choose someone else. You always had to rescue someone else. And this time you chose you. You rescued you and you did not have somebody else do it for you.
Right. Hmm. Hmm. Because that was the start of the downfall. Like that was the start of the, I ain't gonna say downfall. It was actually a come up.
You like what I heard you say is you moved your plant to a better environment. And at first it was like sometimes when you move plants to other environments, don't they start to die a little bit?
Oh yeah, you could tell right away. You can tell right away. Even me being gone, I'm like, I think he was up there speaking bad. Every time I leave one of my plants, I come home and they yellow. I'm like, either y'all just really spoiled brats. That's what I just told them. I'm like, either y'all really spoiled or he up here saying something to y'all. I know this. My plant's like, we're spoiled.
You're back. It's okay. And maybe it's his energy because you said even for you, who's very sensitive like these plants, his
Hmm.
energy affects you.
Yeah. Yes.
So your plants are a micro of the macro. They're a micro of you. They're a mini version of you of the bigger situation. And you look at them if like when they're left alone in that environment, they aren't doing as well,
No.
right?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So like if you were to stay there, you know what's going like your plants are showing you.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
that could happen.
that's a lesson for real. Cause they like, I walked in and like, oh, I'm like, so as soon as I got off work today, I went up there and I just was, I'm like, y'all gonna be okay.
Oh,
I turned the lights on them for them because one of either my daughter or him unplugged the lights. They come on automatic and they go off automatic. Like, and I'm
right,
trying to do something different this year because I never had lights, I never had a humidifier. So I'm really
right.
trying to like really amp it up. You know what I mean? To keep them alive.
Yeah.
I don't know why I like tropicals in Illinois, but that's my thing.
I, I feel like you're creating for your plants what you're going towards.
Hmm. A really nice warm
Giving them the
environment.
right. Like the
Hmm.
humidity, the lights, and like putting it on a timer for ease. Like
Yeah.
you're literally creating that for them, which is a
Yeah.
mirror to create that for you.
Hmm. I didn't
So
think of it
just
like that, but yeah.
I want to acknowledge that because you already are creating that environment even when you're here. You're doing it.
Hmm.
You are allowing it. And now you're asking for more.
More, yeah.
So it
Yep.
goes back to where we began of more of this and keep
Hmm.
nurturing and loving on those plants, less of we already know that.
Right.
And be
Way
with
less
all
of that.
of that in between. Oh my God.
Like, keep
Uh,
your eyes on the prize, lady, for real.
and even if you don't and your focus shifts, notice what happens.
Hmm.
Don't make
Hmm.
it wrong. Like be like, oh yeah, I took my eyes off the prize for a moment and look what happened. Whew, I'm coming
Yeah.
back. Let's go.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes when you're treading water, so to speak, you got to hold on to something and you might need a little bit of a break. So it's not wrong if you take your eye off the prize for a moment so that you can breathe and then
Hmm.
come back and start moving towards the destiny.
Hmm. Okay.
So it's all here for you. Like I just want to keep reminding you everything that's happening around you is for you. It's here to help move you.
Hmm. Hmm.
It is not wrong.
Okay. Right. Right.
So, what are, and I had something else I wanted to just talk through because I remember we talked about payment and stuff for last time. So we'll get to that, but I want to see first before we go there, just to keep your focus on this over the next, like between our next session.
Okay.
But what are you walking away with from like just what we've already talked through together today?
More. And I need to be conscious that I'm doing the things. Like, like I'll be like, oh, trust yourself. I'm practicing, but
Yeah,
like talking to you, like you made it more poignant that I am actually doing the work,
right.
that I'm actually doing it.
And that's part of the reason like we are meeting is to amplify what you're already doing, because when you're doing it, you don't acknowledge it necessarily in the moment. And
Yeah.
when you get to that point of just like acknowledging it, like let me give you a small example. I was at a friend's house and I had a little bit too much to drink, and I don't drink very often because I
Right.
just I don't. But this
It
day
don't
I
take
did.
much.
Oh, right, no, it doesn't. So and I like in the moment I almost fell and I rescued myself. I'm like, I rescued myself because I'm one of my default purposes was I must rescue everyone else before I rescue myself. So in that
Mm,
moment, nobody else was around. There was no one else to rescue, but I still rescued myself and I acknowledged it because I'm like, I did it. Because when we
okay.
can acknowledge it in the small things, it now moves into all things. The all is in the small.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
that's why us meeting is continuing to amplify what you already are doing and being and
Hmm.
creating
Hmm.
and gathering the wisdoms to keep moving you.
Okay. Yes. Hmm. You're right.
Okay. More
You're right.
and more conscious of it and acknowledging it. Is there anything else you're walking away with?
Just to keep practicing, keep
Hmm.
practicing, just to keep doing the thing.
Yeah.
Just keep it. And then amplifying, like calling in, doing the muse when I'm sitting out there looking like it, you know what I mean? Like the amplification. So now it's time to like amplify. So
Yeah.
amplify too. That's another thing I'm walking away with. Hmm.
Yeah. Amplify.
Amplification, like, because I already had that. I already had the feeling of being more intentional. Because, like I said, when I write it down, it's just I seem to follow through. So I need to amplify that. Just amplify it. Take it up to the next notch.
Yeah. And when you
Mm-hmm.
notice you're following through, do the muse method of
Mm-hmm.
like taking one small step, which is a big step, like calling the divorce attorney, packing up a box. Woo, let me
Yeah.
take a moment to acknowledge that and amplify that so I can have more energy to move me.
Mm-hmm. Right. Amplify. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
That's what's up.
that is what's up. And then other thing was of like doing the muse method when either the more than or less than energy shows up and
Mm-hmm.
asking out loud, like you're practicing, what are you asking or what are you inviting me to choose? Or what action do I need to take to support me moving and take that real time action?
Okay. What do you invite me to choose? Now say the other part. What did you,
Um, so like, um, what was it?
what are you inviting me to
Oh,
choose?
yeah. And like, or like, what is your message for me?
Okay.
Because like your ex moving all your stuff, what is your message for me? Your message was, I ain't doing this again. The last time. Cool. Let's go.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I got it written down.
And then take that action. That's why you ask, like, what inspired action do I need to take to move me?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because like being intentional and having the dates is beautiful, but checking in every day is even more potent because like each of us is a vessel. We've talked about this. We're each a ship on the vast ocean of God.
Mm-hmm.
And when we can check the conditions of the day and see what we're working with, who else is on our ship, then we can make more of a choice that's aligned with where we're going.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
keep doing what you're already doing with your intentional action because
Mm-hmm.
you're always practicing. You know this, you've experienced it. You're always practicing. It's just,
Yes.
are you consciously doing it or are you unconsciously practicing?
Right.
Now
Uh-huh.
you're doing it more consciously.
More consciously, for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Okay.
Um, Okay, let's look at the next session, and then I'm gonna end with one last question because I want to come back to because is it okay if I process your payment for today? And this will be
Yes.
the next 4 sessions. So we're going to ask a question after we do the scheduling because I want to leave you on that note to amplify more of it. So then so you'd like to take next Wednesday off, the
Mm-hmm.
9th. So what
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do in my calendar is change that to Lucretia honoring time so that
Okay.
it's on your calendar to honor you at our normal regular scheduled time because it helps our soul to have this as our scheduled time and for you to
Okay.
honor yourself. So whatever that looks like, being with your plants, going for a walk, journaling, whatever you want to do. And you can ask
Okay.
what would honor me for this hour and go do it.
Okay.
So 4/9. Whoa, I don't want to go to. I'm already going to your month of birth. So that's your honoring time, and then we'll be meeting again on the 15th at 4 o'clock.
Okay. 15th at 4.
And then, so then after we get off, in the next 15 minutes or so, I'm going to process your payment. So
Okay.
my invitation to you is, as that's going through, is to ask, how is my investment? Show me how my investment is coming back to me tenfold. And it can be the investment in our coaching. And so you might need to be a little bit more specific, the $500 and the new mattress. So show me how the investment for, $1,500, I'm just going to give a rough number, can be multiplied tenfold.
Okay.
And the most important part is as a creator, as a co-creator with God, the universe,
Mm-hmm.
is as you're asking the universe for something like what you're asking for this, like to be at multiply tenfold, is that when the money shows up, is that you invest it in the way you're calling for it to be invested. Because that's your obligation as you are a co-creator, like the universe showed you. And now you're putting the money towards what you said you would,
Okay.
so that your actions are in alignment with your words. Does that
All
make
righty.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you get to choose how that investment that's multiplied tenfold. Oh, how is that being invested? Oh, it's in the retreats. It's in the things you said, the circles, moving you towards your new environment. Like it's all
Mm-hmm.
part of what you're moving towards.
Okay. Okay.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I will see you on the 15th. I'll keep that on the schedule for the 9th. And then just to give you a heads up, I have the full moon circle on the 13th. So that's coming up.
It's four
If you
four
want
four right now.
Huh?
It's 4:44 on the clock right now.
Ooh, yes, it is, Angel. So
Oh, the full moon circle is on the 13th. It's on a Monday again.
that's on a Monday, yes. So if it
Okay.
works, great. If it doesn't, awesome.
Okay.
Because I think the next one after that is on the 29th, which is the same day as our session. So you could always do our session and then, you know what I mean,
Okay.
go to the circle after if you feel called.
Okay.
I'll be
So
sending
the
out.
$500 is gonna be for the next how many sessions?
So
One,
it'll be
two,
over
the
next 4.
15th, 29.
So, right. So we would be meeting. So it's for today, and then it would be for the 15th, 29th, and then probably the 12th if we're doing every other week.
Okay.
And if we need to go back to, maybe the 5th because you're like, I need a little bit more support, I'm taking the action and I'm in the mud right now, I need support, then we will.
Oh, I'm in March. I'm like, what? Okay, wait, I'm in March. That's the problem.
No
Okay.
worries.
Okay, January the 8th.
What's the 8th?
That's Wednesday.
Oh, I said the wrong
Oh
date.
no, 15th. I'm on the wrong thing. Okay, no. So not next week, the week after, the 29th. That's
Correct.
one session, two session. The third
Mhm.
session would be, wait, that's including today though.
Correct. So it would be today would be one session, and then the 15th would be the second, and then the third would be the 29th.
Okay,
And then
and then the
fourth,
fourth.
in theory, would be the 12th, or depending on what support you need as you're experimenting, we'll kind of evaluate.
Okay,
So we'll
all
just
right.
gather the information as we meet, and you can let me know, how is this working? Oh, it's been great. It's whatever that is.
Okay.
How
And
does
then
that
like
sound?
eventually, if I'm doing good, do you do once a month sessions? Like
do,
you
I
used
do.
okay, just like a
Yes,
check-in?
the maintenance, because what we were doing now is building momentum. It's like a snowball that's going down a hill. We're building the momentum and it's gathering more snow, so the
Mhm.
snowball gets bigger. But you might
Right.
get to the bottom of the hill and you're like, okay, now I'm just here. I'm going to be the snowman, and
Mhm.
I feel good. I'm going to keep standing in my power, but I need that maintenance is what I'll call it,
Mhm.
support, so that I can keep doing what I need to do.
Okay. Alrighty. I just wanted to know. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, and feel free. I say this, but not all of my clients follow through. Like if you need support between now and the 15th, something
Mhm.
comes up, whatever that, reach out, text me. I'm here to
O
support you too in between sessions.
okay.
It's part of this because sometimes we need our hands held in between the time that we're meeting.
Right. Or some encouraging words. Like I'm finna get
Yeah, whatever that is, because I'm going to invite you to like use whatever's there. If it's frustration, how are you moving it through your body? I'm going to ask you some
Mhm.
questions to
Mhm.
bring you back to what we've been doing so that these emotions that are showing up in you can move you.
Okay. Mhm.
Than getting stuck in them and getting stuck in the muck. You're really like, oh, I'm not moving. I'm freaking angry. I put out all my power. Oh, okay, how'd that work for you? Tell me.
That was me on Thanksgiving. No more. It
Yeah,
had
but
to
that was
happen though. It needed to happen though. It had to happen though. It
it
had to.
did
I know. I
because
know that now.
see how it was for you? Because it was there so that you could feel the pain of it, so that you could choose differently next time.
Mhm.
And you could trust your inner knowing more next time because you're like, I knew it. Next time I'm
Mhm.
going to listen. And even if you
Mhm.
don't listen, cool. What did you notice in not listening?
Right. Yeah. Right. Right. Exactly.
Yeah,
You didn't feel like crap. So yeah, you're right. Okay.
right.
So this sounds
All
good
right.
then. I'm gonna keep it
Yeah,
up.
I know you are. You're building your trust muscles. And that's why we're taking a little bit of space between so that you can see how it's working without the training wheels
Yeah.
with
Mhm.
that trust and choosing you.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
I know you said you might go take a nap or maybe go loving on your plants and go spoil them some more.
They need it.
Yeah, so do you, girlfriend, and that's you spoiling you just as much as spoiling them.
So wait a minute. Okay, the 13th is the new moon. January
Yeah,
13th. Okay.
the full moon,
Full
because
moon. Okay.
yes, it's the full moon.
So another question about the moon, the circles. Is it new?
Yeah,
Do you
I'm
get
gonna
like a whole different crowd for the full moon and then a whole different crowd